Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to Clone Wars, the spin-off. I'm DJ Universe. Got my whole squad in the building today. Calvin Blingwell, Dandy Market, Dangerous Zygos. What's good, fam?
What's good, universe? We got a heavy one today, man. This ain't just gossip. This is a masterclass in why ownership ain't a one-time move.
Facts. So for the people who don't know, Two Live Crew, the group behind Me So Horny, banned in the USA, all that Two Live energy from back in the day, they actually won their masters back in 2024. A jury said Lil Joe Records gotta give them back 5 of their old albums.
Wait, hold up. That's a W right there. Termination rights. That's the part of copyright law that says after 35 years, an artist can take their rights back from the label, no matter what the old contract said.
Right, Section 203 of the Copyright Act. It's basically the law's way of saying, we know they signed you when you was hungry and didn't know better. Here's a do-over.
That's the knowledge of self-peace right there. You gotta know the rules of the game before you can use them.
So what happened though? Because I'm hearing this is a whole different story now in 2026.
Yeah, this month the Federal Appeals Court, the 11th Circuit, reversed that whole win. Two Live Crew loses the Masters again. Lil Joe Records keeps the catalog.
And here's the part that's gonna sting everybody listening. It wasn't about the music. It wasn't about the contract being unfair. It came down to one member, Mark Ross, going bankrupt back in the year 2000.
See, this is where it gets real for me because this is a money and paperwork issue, not a creative issue. When Mark Ross filed bankruptcy in 2000, his future termination right, that interest in the copyright, became part of his bankruptcy estate, property of the estate, not property of Mark Ross anymore.
Hold on. So his own bankruptcy, 20-something years ago, came back and messed up the whole group's ability to get their masters back? That's wild.
That's exactly it. Termination only works if it's a group decision. Got to be a majority of the people who own the rights. With Ross's interests stuck in that old bankruptcy estate, the group only had 2 out of 4 interests lined up, one short of what they needed.
One signature, one piece of paper from 25 years ago, and the whole catalog stays with the label. That's why I always tell young artists, discipline ain't just about staying out the studio late or showing up on time. Discipline is your paperwork. Your business stays clean even when your pockets ain't.
That right there is the difference between sounding hard and being smart. Anybody can sound hard on a record. Smart is knowing that a bankruptcy filing in 2000 can decide who owns your masters in 2026.
Man, and that's the thing for guys like me coming up independent. I'm out here grinding, doing the tours, selling the merch, building the brand from the ground up. But if I ever go through something financially, a bad year, a lawsuit, whatever, I need to know how that touches my masters, my publishing, my trademarks. It's not just, will I survive this? It's, what does surviving this cost me in ownership down the line?
That's generational wealth thinking right there. Most artists think about money in terms of, can I pay my bills this month? The label thinks in terms of decades. Lil Joe Records has been sitting on these masters since the 80s and 90s, playing the long game. You got to match that. Set up your LLCs, your trusts, your publishing entities the right way before you ever need them. So if something goes left financially, your catalog and your name are protected separately from your personal debts.
And for groups especially, y'all need agreements today about how decisions get made if somebody can't be reached, somebody passes, somebody goes through something. Two Live Crew needed all 4 members' rights lined up and clean. If even one piece is compromised, the whole termination falls apart. That's a lesson for every duo, every group, every collective splitting points on a project.
On the branding side, this is also a reminder that your catalog is your brand long term. Banned in the USA, that whole Two Live Crew run, that's culture, that's history, that's a piece of hip-hop story about pushing boundaries. Whoever controls those masters controls how that history gets used, licensed, sampled, synced to a commercial, whatever. That's not just a check. That's your legacy story being told by somebody else.
So real quick practical stuff for the people listening right now. What do we actually do with this info?
3 things. 1, know what termination rights are and put the date on your calendar now if you signed anything early in your career, because that 35-year clock is real and it's an opportunity. 2, keep your business entities and your personal finances separated so personal trouble doesn't automatically become catalog trouble. 3, if you're in a group, get a written agreement on how ownership decisions get made, signed by everybody, updated as the lineup or circumstances change.
And add a 4th. Get a real entertainment lawyer to look at this stuff before you're 40 years deep in a fight over masters. Cheaper to do it right at 22 than to fight for it at 55.
That's the game right there. 2 Live Crew built a legacy that's still part of the culture conversation 40 years later. That's real. But this case shows even legends can lose ground over paperwork from decades ago. Protect your name, protect your masters, protect your bag.
Knowledge of self ain't just a vibe, y'all. It's literally knowing your contracts, your rights, and your paper trail.
Facts. That's it for this one, fam. Y'all stay sharp, stay owning what's yours, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Clone Wars, the spin-off. Peace.